So, away we go. So here we are. I hope everybody had a great weekend, by the way. Um, Interesting conversation I saw yesterday. The wife and I watched Ben Shapiro talk to Bill Maher. And I don't care what you think about either of them. I think they're highly intelligent individuals. Do I agree with everything either one of them says? Absolutely not. But do I agree with a lot of what they say? Depending on the topic, absolutely. So today we were going to talk about just one of the segments that they talked about yesterday, and it did deal with obesity and those sorts of things. They talked about the entire pandemic and all that stuff, but again, this is YouTube, so I want to keep the channel and make sure that we actually get fruitful discussion made. I already have people saying that they're going to be uh, literally mass reporting me for upsetting Tess Holiday this past weekend. So, or this past week, because by literally stating that she's full of shit because she's full of shit. Um, but anyway, Jessica, how the fuck you doing? Fox, what's up? Janet, Zoe, Elk, Peaceful Lifter. Brian, how are you? Wallflower commenter, Nitrix, what's going on? Elizabeth, how are you? Kimberly, Daryl, Emma, Christine, wow, Angela, hello everybody. How the fuck is everybody today? So today we are, like I said, we are going to go over just probably about a 5 or 6 minute segment, and then we're going to talk about group discussion about how about what they're saying. I'll probably extend it out because I probably have quite a bit to say. I will say to these two gentlemen, and I mean I'm kind of joking, half joking, but the bill is in the fucking mail for both of your research assistants because all they did was pretty much talk all my talking points that I've been talking for fucking years. And I know that means like since I was watching this, it means I have confirmation bias, but I'm right, so therefore I'm going to be fucking biased. Uh, Being fat is indeed unhealthy for you. Don't let society fool you. Being a 400-pound person does not make you some sort of fucking hero if you go out in a bikini, male or female. I don't judge. It just does make you a person who uh, is 400 pounds, unhealthy, and wears a bikini. It does not make you some sort of fat people are not oppressed. If anything, we fucking bend to their fucking will and have forever to make sure we don't hurt their feelings while they glutton themselves. I mean, all of these things are just reality. Realities, and if it's too harsh for you, then reality is too harsh. If you are fat, you should unfucking fat yourself. We live in the most ridiculous time ever. That we just went through 2 years of pandemic, of which we closed down all of society to protect old people and mostly fat people, for people to not have taken it upon themselves to think maybe I should fucking be healthier since we're actually worried about the fucking health of the population and shit. It does mean that you are in some sort of fucking denial. If you have been to a doctor recently and you're fat as fuck and they have not discussed with you losing weight, get a new doctor. Technically, they're fucking negligent. Like I would argue that that's almost malpractice. Being fat is indeed unhealthy for you, and if you go to a doctor, they should discuss your fucking health with you in a preventative way. And nothing would prevent more chronic illness and disease than if you unfucking fattened yourself. I hope everybody's having a great day. I'm in that kind of mood. I'm not here to fuck around with nobody no more. We need to fucking get healthy. It's the insanity of what is happening right now, and they do talk about this on this interview, is what I warned people about years ago before the pandemic. I said we are getting to the point where we are trying to protect the feelings of these people who are gluttoning themselves to the extent that it is going to be societally damaging. And it is societally damaging. We have made obese people like a protected class where if you say anything against them that is reality of their situation, whereas being fat as fuck is indeed bad for you, if for no other reason than gravity exists. I just posted something up on my Twitter, which by the way, that's right here, MFACOO on Twitter. You can follow me there, but it's something posted up about knees, like how, especially for women, being fat is bad for you, the cartilage in your knees. It's just, you know why? Gravity, because fucking common sense, because we live in an actual world that has physical limitations of structural objects. Like if we literally have a tree house, let's say we build a tree house, right? And we design this tree house to withhold 200 pounds, right? If you stack 600 pounds in that motherfucker, it might fall out of the fucking tree because shit's gonna break. How hard is this to fucking understand? I don't fucking understand it. I mean, I don't get it. I really don't. But we've been on 5 minutes. We're gonna wait just another minute or two. I'm gonna say hi to a few other people that have been here. Pralia, every time I order from McDonald's, I'm very comforted by the fact that it makes me a hero. Honestly, I think people should thank me more. Okay. I know who Bill is, but don't know his views on obesity or the other guy. Oh, you're about to hear them, which is good. No name Jay. So true. Thank you very much. Hey, what's up? Trusted Mammal. I love the names you guys come up with. So let me pull this over here. I have it all queued up. The portion of the discussion is only about 5 to 10 minutes, but I believe it's it's one of the more important conversations that has been had recently. Was talking to a 19-year-old severely obese girl yesterday. She already has arthritis in bilateral knees. That's fucking bad. That's bad. That's very bad. Society is a social construct. You would think that they fucking actually believe that. Fucking crazy shit. It's crazy talk. I mean, we don't deal with reality. I mean, we have a 400-pound woman claiming she's fucking anorexic, and people are and the mainstream media is fucking pushing this shit. And then anybody that says she's not is somehow fat shaming her. Fuck all of you fucking weird ass motherfuckers. I mean, it's reality. She is fat as fuck. She eats her way to be fat as fuck, and she is unhealthy. She has binge eating or disorder, likely some very serious food disorders. But this woman is not anorexic. It is an insult to anorexics. I can't even. I'm so. I've not like. I do not like that woman. Obviously, I do not like Tess Holiday. But I'm telling you right now, if I did like her before, this like little fucking stunt she's pulled with this anorexic thing, that would all be gone because it is massively, massively fucking, uh, massively fucking disrespectful. Alan, I bought Meth and Willpower back in March 2018. I still return to that PDF from time to time for motivation. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. All right, so we are going to head on over. I got to make sure I do the sound share. I did it. I've gotten much better at this shit. So here we go. Boom. This is Ben Shapiro. This is on Ben Shapiro's YouTube. I'm not subscribed. I'll subscribe. I don't watch a lot of YouTube. I'm just letting you. I mean, for real. Like I do research. That's about it. I read a lot of fucking studies. I don't watch a lot of YouTube anymore. We're gonna pop up, and this is his conversation with Bill Maher and Ben Shapiro. This happened last night, and I found the whole conversation enlightening. I think you should go and watch the whole conversation. They talk about their different viewpoints. I do want to state, and I will say this one more time: conversations like this need to start happening. We need to actually meet in the real world and have discussions between people with differing opinions, so we can learn to hate each other less. Because our society cannot function right now, and for the lemmings and the woke, that would not work out as well as you think. Just because social media bans people, the people who, I mean, it's in the real world, we all know how this would turn out. You're only going to hissy fit so much before something fucking happens. Okay, so let's start having these conversations. Here we go.
One of the first editorials I did.
Let me do this.
When I had to be doing the show from my backyard.
Yep.
Was about how, just in general, I think we should handle any disease, but especially this one, more internally, not just externally. Yes, there is that element. Externally meaning vaccines. Okay, yes, I'm glad we have the vaccine. I personally would not have wanted to get it, but I did. Took one for the team.
If you didn't want to get it, why? What like I take one for the team. Take one for the team means I felt like I had to do it in order to keep my life. I'm just saying that. Like, you know. Anyway.
I would have rather had my own immune system handle this one. Now, to me, it's a case-by-case basis. I'm not an anti-vaxxer.
I agree with that. I mean, it's case by case basis. I think every elderly person in my family, I've told them to make sure they talk to their doctor about it. You know what I mean? Like about making sure they get the whatever the extra shots and stuff like that. Like that's I think something people misconstrue about me. Like I want conversation, knowledge, and speaking. Now, if it turns out that all of a sudden some documents get released that show that there was, a, fraudulent fraudulent or decisions made based off of fraudulent data, that's going to be a whole different scenario. But I mean, it's a case like my thing was even if everything if the pandemic was 10 times as deadly as what they even predicted it was going to be, and we didn't have the possibility uh, of a jibby jab for a long fucking time. I still don't think we should have ever had a single fucking mandate. That's not the fucking place of the government. The government should inform you and try to help protect your rights as best as they can, not tell you what rights you have. That is not how America was set up to work. And at no point in time should there have been a pandemic clause. So they could inform, they could ask you, hey, maybe stay in, maybe do this, maybe do that, and then you make your own decisions. It should have never been this business is closing that bit like that. That is it has all just been a massive overreach, in my opinion, of course. And that's how I've always stood, and that's how I will always be. I do agree with him in saying we should be handling this thing more internally, more individually. I've been saying for 2 fucking years at this stage that people need to unfatten themselves. If this doesn't teach you that you should unfatten yourself, I don't know what the fuck will. We're at the stage in society where we are so incredibly fat as fuck that a new virus that would be only really targeting the fucking elderly and highly immunocompromised is a decent threat to a decent portion of the population because you guys glutton yourselves into fucking sickness. I mean, and that's another thing too. Like, so now people are getting upset at me for using the word gluttony and saying you're gluttoning yourselves and stuff. What would you prefer me to call it? I mean, when you're fucking uh, face fucking yourself with 5,000 calories worth of food every single day, that's gluttony. I mean, as a person that has gluttoned themselves for many years, I pretty much know what fucking gluttony is. And if you are 400 pounds, or if you're 300 pounds, you are gluttoning yourself. I mean, like you are eating to the point where you are fucking way overeating what you calorically need. You're gluttoning yourself. And I have people getting upset about that. Like, don't call me a glutton. Well, what the fuck? But you are. Like if you're not ashamed of it, then why is it an issue? It's so fucking ridiculous. Anyway,
I just think everybody's different. Now, there are some diseases out there, I would fight you for the vaccine. Okay. But this one, because America is so unhealthy, that's the essential part we don't address. So unhealthy to begin with that it's great we have a vaccine because that is what is saving the lives of everyone smart enough to get the vaccine who was
smart enough. Sorry, Bill. I don't need the fucking jibby jab. I was smart enough not to fucking teetotal my goddamn health. I was smart enough that even at the beginning of 2020, when all this shit went down, I looked at myself, talked to my wife, and said, "You know what? I think we need to downsize." And I fucking have downsized 40 fucking pounds. Instead of being the fitness guy that lifts heavy weights, weighing 215 to 220 pounds, I'm now the health guy that fucking weighs about 180 to 185 pounds. Likely this summer I'll probably be in the 170s, and very comfortable and fucking athletic. Like we don't. The human immune system is amazing. Not to mention the fact that 99.8% survivability rate is a 99.8 survivability rate. Fucking
not.
that includes the fat as fuck. That's how fucking crazy it is. If we could have reduced down the 99.8 even more to like get it to be 99.95 because we helped people stop gluttoning themselves, if that's what we would have focused on, there would have never been a need for fucking any of this bullshit.
In good health to begin with. But, that certainly wouldn't have been my way to handle it.
So, I mean, you've been very vocal on this, and obviously you say your audience doesn't like you very much for it. Why do you think this became such a politicized point of view? Because what you're saying, I mean, you and I disagree on so much about politics, but on this sort of stuff, it seems like this is just the basic data, which is that for a lot of people who are obese, people who are older, people who have a prior immune problem, those people really, really needed the vaccine. If you were young and you were healthy, and if you're in decent shape, your chances of death from this were really not particularly high. We're not talking about the Black Death here with a 1/3 death ratio.
I would still argue that what you should have done was lose fucking weight. Not one fucking healthcare professional, not one, policymaker for fucking public health fucking spoke about it. The fucking CDC director has not mentioned the word obesity on their social media since 2020. Like, I mean, it hasn't been spoken about, Like, this is fucking, lockdowns make shit worse. We got fatter as fucking people. This is fucking ridiculous.
And yet this turned into not only that you need to mask up forever, but that you needed to triple vax and mask post triple vaccination. I mean, my view of this was I was basically quarantined with my parents. My parents were 65, so I want to make sure they didn't get it. And so we basically holed up with them, and we didn't go outside for.
If your parents are 65 and you want to make sure they didn't get it, and this is not me knocking him, but you should have been concerned about that shit beforehand too, because to an elderly person, especially an elderly immunocompromised person, this is just as fucking, the people that are passing away with 4+ comorbidities and at an average age of 78 are the people that do the fucking dying. Like, a bad case of hiccups for a lot of these people can fucking kill them. For real. I've seen it happen, actually. Just to fucking be real, like, I mean, the hysteria behind it is what fed all of it, and that's the hysteria was nothing but fucking hype. I mean, is it a real virus? Of course it is. Absolutely. Should you fucking be? That's why you should be as healthy as you fucking can be. I mean, that you should be as healthy as you fucking can at all fucking times. Like, and if you don't, you're just accepting risk. And if something comes along, it should affect you, not anybody fucking else. Like, not anybody else at all.
In LA for a long time. And then the minute the vaccines were available and we took the vaccines, my parents got them mainly. As soon as that was over, we were done. I mean, we had enough faith in what we were being told about the vaccine to figure, okay, we're done here. But following.
You had faith in the CDC and the FDA. You had faith in the people that gave you the food pyramid. I'd love for either of these gentlemen to have me on their shows. I would love that.
Following the data has become a bad thing, and you're labeled an anti-vaxxer even if you're pro-vax. I mean, I got double vaxxed. My parents got triple vaxxed. My wife, who's a doctor, is triple vaxxed, and we were labeled anti-vax anyway because we weren't saying that you should lose your job if you didn't vax.
Right. I mean, there's a lot of silliness on both sides, a lot of bad information on both sides. I don't think
Bill, the problem is that there's sides. That's the problem. There should be no sides to, you don't get to tell people to lose their rights for something like this. The problem is that there's sides. There's two sides, neither of them are the Constitution. And that's the fucking actual issue. Like that's the fucking actual fucking issue. I don't know. You said, Alan, it's not even FDA approved. The jab that's still being used in the United States is not. And by the way, there's a strong chance it was approved on, data on withheld data. But it's not. Their approved version is not being issued in the United States. You fucking whacknut.
liberals liked it when I pointed out that I think it was something like 41% of Democrats, when asked the question, I mean, and this was in the New York Times.
The version that's in the United States is not. It's not. Comorbidity is not being used. So, you are openly either an idiot or lying, one or the other. I believe probably the idiot. So,
They had Republican versus Democrat views on COVID. And something like 41% of Democrats, when asked the key question, how many people who get COVID need to be hospitalized, thought it was over 50%, when it was, of course, around 1%. I mean, that's a crazy number. To be off that much about the, no wonder they think you need a mask everywhere.
And by the way, I mean, I do think that was just, that poll was obviously something that maybe was just taken in fucking, in jest, but like that fucking, for to be that far off is crazy. But even though, uh, uh, they have an approved one, the version that's being used is not approved. You cannot get their name brand version that is approved anywhere in the United States. It's just not. So, and as for the data, like I'm still going to say this one more time. I will openly say this. Even if it was the case, Bill, that it was 50% that got hospitalized, that still does not make it so people can be told to stay in, lose their jobs, take a therapy. It's just not fucking. That's not how freedom works. And that's always been my state on this. Now, I again can argue all the data to everybody all I fucking want, uh, and destroy them. But here we go.
If you think half the people who get it need to go to the hospital and it's really 1%, how did they get that bad information in their head?
They were lied to by mainstream media, which is what happened for the entirety of this, to even make people think that in any way this was something that the average person needed to be fucking worried about. We, instead of what happened, should have definitely encouraged people to get healthy, tried to help the immunocompromised and elderly people that chose to isolate, actually isolate, make it so that they could be without contact of anybody that could not possibly have it. And I mean, this is common sense. And then the rest of everybody is should have built industry around them and gone on with their day, and reached natural immunity as quickly as humanly possible by getting it and getting recovered immunity. It's just what we've done for fucking ever. I don't know why. These are the reason why these people think that 50% of the people that get it are in the hospital is because for some reason we wanted to rewrite how we've always handled new novel viruses, which is especially when it's upper respiratory with a very highly pronounced high risk group of elderly and again gluttons people. We we knew who to look for. Those people could either choose to isolate if they wanted to, or not, or just continue their life and accept risk because that's what life is all about. And or they could have tried to be just as healthy as possible and lose hundreds of fucking pounds. Instead, we got fatter as society.
And I said, Fox News and the right wing has a lot to answer for a lot of misinformation out there. I would put climate change as top of that list.
All media lies. All legacy media, mainstream media is bullshit. All of it. Accept it. What you see, go to the data.
But the left-wing media should answer for that. How did your audience get that bad idea in their head that so many people need to go to the hospital who don't? And, as you started to say, I did an editorial about this about a month ago, again, not well received by a lot of people, but I was just, again, giving the facts. We know who gets this and dies from this.
Not only do we know, we have known. We absolutely have known who gets it the entire time. So we absolutely have known.
Who gets it? Everybody. Everybody gets it, including if you've had the vaccine, which they.
That's another thing too. Everybody was going to eventually get this. It's an upper respiratory virus that had been around the world multiple fucking times. Like the thought process to oh, we found our first case in America of an upper respiratory virus that for most people, and this is just true, most people to find out if they had it had to fucking take a test because that few people actually got symptomatic. So we think we're going to catch patient zero. It's now in the United States. That means if you can say it's now been in the United States, the chances are it's been in the United States for months. I mean, the whole scenario is fucking off.
They were wrong about. Okay, they weren't trying to be wrong about it, but my overarching.
Were they or weren't they? Because the absolute avoidance of things like natural immunity and trying to tell fat people to lose weight is telling.
Opinion was modern medicine. It's wonderful, but you're wrong about a lot. Stop being arrogant.
Modern medicine, healthcare system is a massive death rate. It's 400,000 to 450,000 people a year die from medical error, not including cross infection. This is just reality.
Don't look at me like we've got the white coat on and the stethoscope around our neck. Just do whatever we say, because
Most doctors are pharmaceutical drug dealers. Reality. Most doctors are pharma dispensaries. I mean, they get there faster. There's not very much prevention. And we as a society, when we do get a doctor that tries to say anything preventative, we say the doctor's fat shaming. Fucking sad. We are fucking weak as people.
when have we ever been wrong? My answer, a lot. You've been wrong about a lot. Not because you're corrupt, although sometimes there's that too, but you've just been wrong about a lot, including a lot about this vaccine. I mean, about this disease. So we know who gets
No, and the vaccine. You had it right the first time too.
it. Okay, 75% of the people who died over 65. Now that's sad. Death is always sad. I'm against death. I don't care who knows it. But, you know, Earth is a timeshare. We can't all be
Oh, I like that. Earth is a timeshare. I like that.
here at the same time. Some of us have to go to make room for others. People are going to die when they start being over 65. Something. I mean, you can't stop aging. Believe me, Ben, I've tried.
Ben's laughing a little bit too much at unfunny jokes. Don't pander.
So that's 75%. 99% unvaccinated. That 99%. Where do you ever see that in any story about anything? And of course, 78% of the people who died or are hospitalized were obese.
That's something that we've known for a long time too. I mean, it's been out there. That percentage has actually been very, very clear. I don't understand why. I mean, I get why. Like, I mean, people need to obese people are the largest consumers of everything. Right? They consume more food, more clothing, more gas, more petrol, more pharma, more this, more that. They are the consumption cows. I mean, that is truly what what people need to understand. The health industry makes money. The health industrial complex basically makes money off of treating their fucking illnesses. That's it. It's fucking it's incredible. I mean, how people cannot understand fucking that there's no incentive for the people that pay the doctors what to say and what to do. There's no incentive for them for people to be truly fucking healthy. There's no incentive for the pharmaceutical industry to cure you of a fuck thing. There's no incentive for the fast food industry or the food industry to make their foods less fucking addictive. There's no incentive for that. They don't want you healthy. A healthy population is a free and strong population. If you are on if you are on daily medication, absolute daily medication from the pharmaceutical industry to support life due to your lifestyle-driven illness, they're not going to stop that. You're a slave to them. You are on a subscription basis, paying them to keep you alive because you cannot keep yourself alive because you are gluttoning yourself or treating yourself poorly, you're drinking or smoking or something like that. If you are on diabetes medication and you have type 2 diabetes and you consistently still eat like shit, you are in fact a slave to these people. I mean, it's just reality. So, I mean, they don't want people healthy. That's why they're avoiding the conversation. That's why the CDC is avoiding the conversation, because the CDC is in bed with the FDA. The FDA and the CDC both get massive amounts of their funding from large corporations. The CDC even recently hid their corporate partners page from public view because they didn't want people seeing that nearly every pharmaceutical company, Coca-Cola, McDonald's, all the food companies, all contribute to the CDC sums of money. They're all corporate partners with the CDC. This is also just a fact that people don't want to talk about. The CDC does not have credibility. The CDC is the government arm of the pharmaceutical industry and food industry. That's it. That's all. They do not have actual credibility in looking out for the health of the people. the Center for Disease Control is not, they shouldn't be, uh, seen as prevention, because they're not trying to prevent disease anymore at all.
And that's another one that's not a popular opinion to talk about, but I feel like I have to because it's such a salient fact in this. If you just said to somebody, okay, there's an X factor in this of 78% of the people who get it, this X factor accounts for 78% who die or go to the hospital. Wouldn't you be a little curious? If you were a news organization, wouldn't you be talking about that fact all the time? And yet we're at such a crazy place with obesity. It is the ultimate third rail.
It is. It is the ultimate third rail. Like, society has reached what I would hope to be peak stupidity and craziness about obesity. I have said for 5 years now that us accepting obesity and us normalizing it is going to fucking hurt society. And newsflash, it fucking has just damn near destroyed society. Oops.
But the real epidemic is obesity. 99%. Where do you ever see that? We're obese. And that's another one that's not a popular opinion to talk about, but I feel like I have to because it's such a salient fact in this. If you just said to somebody, okay, there's an X factor in this of 78% of the people who get it, this X factor accounts for 78% who die or go to the hospital. Wouldn't you be a little curious? If you were a news organization, wouldn't you be talking about that fact all the time? And
wouldn't you be? That is what people should. That's why you can't trust any of the news, because none of them are talking about what the fucking actual shit is going on. None of them talk about this because they get advertising dollars from these large companies, including Pfizer and McDonald's and Pizza Hut and everything like that. Nobody's going to talk about this shit on the news because the news isn't the news anymore. It is media. It is not news. It is media. It is complete slant to a side that are all paid by the same fucking people. Pfizer has ads on everything from Fox News to MSNBC and everywhere in between. McDonald's has ads both on all these sides. It is all just the money. I mean, who cares what politics it is? They're all for being unhealthy, all of them. It is a fucking real ass fucking issue. That is why I say when people are like, "Oh, you're this or you're that, you're alt right, you're alt whatever," I am I'm alt constitutionalist. Like I want the Constitution. I want people to have fucking take accountability for their fuck selves. They need to fucking be accountable for themselves. They need to fucking start doing shit, being a part of our fucking society. Instead of society fucking supporting a huge fucking amount of gluttony and illness because people can't say no to fucking ho-hos. You know, he's saying people aren't talking about it because they're not going to talk negative about McDonald's fattening the fuck out of people because McDonald's is the commercial that's on next. They're not going to fucking talk about it. I mean, let's be real. They're not going to talk about how, you know, the amount of fat people on the fucking planet or in the fucking country leads to $2+ trillion in avoidable healthcare expenditure together. They're not going to fucking talk about that because that's the people. When we say expenditure, when we say healthcare expenditure, what that actually is somebody else's revenue. Like expenditure for us, revenue for them.
And yet we're at such a crazy place with obesity. It is the ultimate third rail in discourse. I'm talking about everything you could possibly talk about. That is the ultimate third rail. You just do not talk about it. And of course, we need to talk about it. That's the real epidemic, not coronavirus. That's going to become, as it has now, I think, become a much more mild disease. And it's going to be with us forever, as all viruses are. It's not going to disappear, I don't think. But the real epidemic is obesity. And that
if we weren't fat as fuck as a society, this would have been a blip in history. We would have been like, oh, there was a new virus. Let's protect the elderly people and let's move the fuck on. Everybody else cough for a fucking couple of days and maybe have a little bit of a sore throat. And the odd anomalous person might pass away. But if we weren't fat as fuck, this would not be a fucking reality thing. Like, I mean, just to be fucking real, only like 12,000 people in over, what is it now? It's probably been close to 30 months that the fucking virus has actually been in the United States. You know, it's probably been about 30 months, and 12,000 people have passed away directly of it, and everybody else had an average of 4 other comorbidities and fucking an average age of like 78. Like, it is what kills people. It absolutely is what kills people. Lifestyle driven illness before the pandemic led to over 1 million deaths a year, like 1.3 million deaths a year. Avoidable lifestyle chronic illness.
That we don't talk about.
I mean, I wonder why you think that is, just out of curiosity. Why you
Money. Money. They don't talk about it because of money. They don't talk about it because of money, and people are fucking weak. If you tell them that them being fat as fuck is indeed bad for them, they shouldn't be fat as fuck, they're not going to eat the 12 fucking cheeseburgers in a day to keep themselves fat as fuck. Money. It's money.
think that everybody's scared to talk about it? I mean,
Be-
I have a theory, but I want to hear yours.
Let's hear yours first.
Okay, sure. So, I mean, my basic theory is that as a society, we've really cracked down very hard on the idea that people have any sort of control over their lives. And whenever you imply that somebody has control over their life and they have a problem and that maybe they can avoid that problem, they get very, very angry at you. And obesity is a great example of this, because the vast majority of people who are obese are people who probably should be eating less and creating caloric deficit.
I agree, but that type of behavior has been propagated by people not telling them. Like the alienation of telling people the reality of their life station is fucking is the fucking issue. You know, like us. You know, you can't tell. Like it's been for years. You can't tell if I'm healthy or not by looking at me. I certainly fucking can. Fucking. I may not be able to tell 100% of the time, but if you are fat as fuck, I can indeed tell you are unhealthy. Beyond question. It's not weight stigma. It's not fat shaming. It's reality. Reality exists. I mean, I can 100% tell that. The thing is, like not allowing people, but if I call somebody fat who's 400 pounds and they get pissed at me for calling them fat, that's a them problem, and that should be seen as a them problem. I'm literally, if I say to like somebody like Tess, look, you weigh 400 pounds. It looks like you've gained 150 pounds in the last couple of years. Uh, both you lying about being anorexic is pretty insulting to people that actually suffer with that disease. However, you yourself are extremely fucking unhealthy. You should lose weight for, I don't know, yourself to live a longer life, for your kids so you can be in their lives longer and not show them poor fucking eating habits and not take them ice cream every other fucking day. So they get fat as fuck like you are. And I don't know, for society, because you yourself are an influencer and influence a lot of people, and they think it's now okay because you're telling them it's okay. Um, oh yeah, the fucking future healthcare costs that all of us are going to share in. If that's fat shaming, too fucking bad, because that's also reality. That's not weight stigma. Nothing I said was actually stigma. It's the fucking truth. Tess Holiday and people that are obese eat way too much fucking food. You know, and I don't care how slow your metabolism is. You are not fucking somebody from the Charles Xavier School for the Gifted. You don't create matter out of nothing. You are eating too many fucking calories if you are indeed fat as fuck and keeping yourself fat as fuck. This is just fucking reality. Let's hear what Bill has to say about it.
You silver tongued it beautifully, Ben. I was just going to say they love to stuff their face, but it's really the same.
And they don't want to be fucking called on it. They're acting like addicted little children. And being fat as fuck does cause cognitive impairment. It does cause immature behavior. It fucking absolutely does. It many things. It causes chronic pain. The person who's in chronic pain, even their joints are fucking hurting all the time. People in pain tend to fucking act irrationally. And so they're in pain. They know they're in pain, and they have to go through more pain to fucking not be in pain because they're gonna have to move their body a little bit. Fucking then they're also gonna have to not glutton themselves, and gluttoning themselves is literally the only pleasure that most of these people fucking have. I mean, do you think going for a long walk is which do you think Tess Holiday is going to find more pleasurable as an experience? Eating a fucking whole ass pizza like we've watched her do multiple fucking times while claiming to be anorexic, or going for a fucking 3 mile walk? Which one do you think she's going to find more pleasurable? I can guarantee you 10 out of 10, would not need to guess again, Tess Holiday's going to choose eating the fucking pizza. because walking 3 fucking miles. If it's a choice between ice cream or pizza, what the fuck do you or ice cream or 3 mile walk? What the fuck do you think she's going to choose? If she's got to consistently not eat the ice cream and consistently do the fucking walks, or she could just lie to herself and consistently fucking eat the fucking ice cream and not do the walks, avoid pain, physical pain, and hunger while fucking eating something that she's going to basically, get a fucking pleasure response from in her brain. You know, and then the worst part is because they're that addicted, because it is in that state. When a morbidly obese person tries to lose weight, they got to go through all sorts of shit, mentally and physically. They have lots of fucking issues that they need to deal with when it comes to food, their body image, and all sorts of shit. So when they fucking start eating in a healthier way, they may feel a little better, but they're going to miss the things that they are addicted to, because it is a fucking addiction at that stage. If you've eaten to the state where you are eating yourself into fucking chronic pain, and know it. You deep down know that it's you getting fat as fuck that's hurting you. When you're at that stage, it is an addiction. We need to treat it that way. We need to fucking not lie to these people and say you're just fine as you are. That right there is an evil fucking thing to do to somebody that's fat as fuck. We need to normalize telling fat people that they should lose weight because we care about them as a society. Like, one of the big arguments the fat acceptance people have, like, people just don't care about fat people and they don't care about this. Caring about fat people would be encouraging them not to be fat as fuck. That's actual caring. Caring about somebody is trying to have them lead a happy, healthy life. That's actual caring. Lying directly to their face and telling them they're just fine or somebody else is wrong for trying to tell you to get healthy, that is fucking cruel and unusual punishment. The reality of it is, being nice to somebody is literally telling them the shit that will help them. That is being nice. Even if it's hard to hear sometimes, that is the fucking truth. That's what we need to be doing. We need to normalize that as a society. But again, too many people are too fucking terrified of either getting canceled, not getting paid, all that shit, so they won't fucking do it. They won't fucking do it. It's fucking pathetic.
Idea, isn't it? Yes, I mean, but we are in a different place with it than we were even 5 years ago.
We are. I did my first fat acceptance video a little over 5 years ago, and it is what I warned people was going to happen has happened. We have started viewing obesity, because of its mass consumption and money behind the consumption. We have started viewing these people as a fucking protected class.
5 years ago, it at least was thought to be a good thing to try to lose weight, right?
Mhm.
Now, that's what they shame.
Yep.
Adele
Right.
I mean, yes.
famously lost weight, and they shamed her for that. That's through the looking glass.
It is. It is completely societally delusional. It's the same thing as like when anybody, like you see it all the time on social media. Somebody will say something about somebody's weight. We're not going to fat shame here. There's not. If the person is fat as fuck, visibly fat as fuck, and somebody would say, "My God, they're fat. I wish they would lose weight." That is not fat shaming. That is reality, and the person wishing them that they would lose weight. But we are through the fucking looking glass with this shit. We are absolutely through the looking glass. It's fucking crazy.
When you're the bad person because you lost weight, and it's just seen as a different way of living. There's no judgment to it. And look, I don't believe in shaming. I'm not fat shaming. I'm fat splaining. I'm splaining
Yep.
that,
I'm not fat shaming. I'm not picking on people. I'm narrating their idiot moments. They're the ones doing it. I'm just narrating. I say that all the fucking time. Again, the bill is in the mail to their guys for the research for the shit they did. It sounds like they watched some videos.
beauty is in the eye of the beholder, absolutely. But science is not. Science is not. And those facts are unforgiving when you look at the number of people who died. And you didn't even have to be that much overweight to have a much worse outcome, having to go to the hospital, having to get ventilated. I think 40% of the people who died had diabetes. And again, even take COVID out of the picture. I was talking about this before COVID.
Yes, you were. So was I. So was a few other people. But for some reason, it was always the same. Oh, all you're talking about is obesity. There's no better topic to talk about, and there's no bigger threat to fucking people's health. Like, I'm sorry, dear fitness people, but nobody's gonna fucking die if they do a bicep curl wrong. Fuck. I mean, we did have somebody just recently die in the squat rack because she was fucking squatting without a spotter and no fucking rails up and crushed her. But normally people aren't going to die from fucking doing the wrong fucking. If they're not optimizing their bicep curls, they're not going to fucking die. People fucking gorging themselves to death are fucking going to fucking pass away at some point in time. Fucking reality.
And got lambasted by James Corden and other people who attacked me.
James Corden is a pussy fat fuck who tries to make excuses for his fucking obesity when in fact all he needed to do was stop gluttoning himself and fucking be a role model for people. You fucking weak ass piece of shit.
Bill, you're such a bad person. I'm not shaming people. I'm just saying we were never going to solve the healthcare crisis in this country until we get our arms around this thing.
How many times have all of you heard me say, if you watch the channel a lot, the population health starts with the health of the population? Like a population health expert, a population health official should be talking about the actual health of the population as a basis. They should be informing people about the health of the actual generalized population and what can be done to optimize that health in order to then create policy based around that. We shouldn't base policy around a sickly population due to action and lifestyle driven illness. We should actually, as population health people should be telling the population to be as healthy as possible, and then us base our treatment around the anomalous and around the aged and things like that. Accidents, cancers, those sorts of things that happen non-lifestyle driven genetic disorders and things like that. But you can't actually be considered, in my mind, you can't actually be considered a population health expert or a population health official and not talk about the actual health of the fucking population. And we haven't for fucking years. That's why I joke and I jest, but I really fucking mean this. If I was given the spot, I would become the Secretary of Health of the United States. And I fucking guarantee you, I could save us trillions of dollars and millions of lives. I guarantee it. I could save us, the people. It would cost corporations a shit ton of money because their revenue sources would be gone. Because again, trillions of dollars would be saved in the healthcare industry. We would spend trillions of dollars less. If we spend $3.8 trillion, and these are the numbers off the top of my head, and you can verify these according to the CDC and other areas, and I've shared the studies with you before, and you can check all this out. And Bill and Ben, if you are watching, I'd love to come on either of your shows and talk about this, because I can say this, that according to the CDC, we spend $3.8 trillion in healthcare burden in a fucking year. That 80 to 90% of all those things, depending on which study you look by, is chronic illness driven, and 80 to 90% of all chronic illness is in fact lifestyle driven. So when you do 80% of 3.8 trillion, and then 80% of that, you come up with about 2.34 or 2.43, I can't remember off the top of my head, $1 trillion a fucking year. There's 1.7 million lives lost to chronic illness every single fucking year. When you consider that 80 to 90% of that is avoidable by lifestyle change, you add 1.3 million Americans that don't die a year. So if we actually cared about the health of the population, if we actually cared about the health of the people, and we actually looked at the healthcare system as if we wanted to fucking be able to actually support it, we cannot possibly support $3.8 trillion when a huge portion of that is taken up by a smaller minority group of the population that eats themselves into fucking illness. We cannot bear that fucking cost and all of it be fucking one payer system and all that bullshit. All that shit is fairy tale la la land until we address the health of the population. Because if you want one payer system, if you want an actual fucking system where everybody is getting this, getting healthcare and treatment and everything like that, we have to unburden the fucking healthcare system. And about 91% of all prescription medication written is lifestyle chronic illness related. And about 78% of hospital admissions are fucking chronic illness related. And again, the huge fucking burden of the fucking healthcare system is, again, chronic illness. We would need to reduce that down so the healthcare system would be unburdened, and then we could actually have just healthcare for all. But we cannot fucking do this while a huge portion of the population is gluttoning themselves into fucking ill health, or drinking themselves or smoking themselves, but mostly it's fucking gluttoning them. We cannot fucking do this, and our public health officials have not even fucking mentioned it for 2 fucking years. This should be a fucking major question that people should fucking interested in, that should be fucking thinking about. This should be a major fucking thing. The fuck? But we don't.
And we're not allowed to talk about it, or else you're a bad person. And anyone who doesn't, I'm sorry, you have blood on your hands.
I agree. Not to mention, do I agree with that? But if you are a doctor, and you are avoiding talking to your patients about their fucking obesity, you are guilty of malpractice. You are their doctor. You're supposed to look out for their fucking health. If you avoid talking about their obesity and what it's going to fucking mean for their fucking health, you are in fact not looking out for their health. They are negligent. If you have gone to a doctor and you are fat as fuck, and your doctor did not talk to you about you indeed being fat as fuck, they are negligent in speaking to you. They should be telling you to lose fucking weight 100% of the fucking time. A 300-pound person plus that goes to the fucking doctor, so the doctor should talk to them about their fucking weight 100% of the fucking visits. 100% of the fucking time. It should be the priority. It should be the absolute priority.
Anyone in the media who doesn't talk about this because you're so afraid of the reaction,
Yep.
you have blood on your hands, because you're
Yep.
not doing these people a favor. You're not doing people a favor. Like I always say, ever see a fat 90-year-old?
When you do see a fat, by the way, when you do see a fat 90-year-old, it's normally because they have gained a lot of weight in the last like 5-10 years of their fucking life. Just being very realistic. I'm not saying it doesn't happen. It's very rare that it happens. But when you see an obese elderly person, it's because they weren't obese their entire lives. Right now, we have 13-year-olds that weigh 300 fucking pounds. They're not going to live past 35.
Never. Shouldn't that tell you something? I mean, you're either going to die fast from COVID, especially if you're not vaccinated from this, or slowly. And also, it's going to bring down, as it was before this, the economy of the country. Because, I mean, when we were debating healthcare in this country for years, and Obamacare and on after, it was always about, we would look at the charts, we would see how much healthcare spending is going up, and people would say, we can't do it. We can't just not do anything.
It's this year. It's going to be $4 trillion in healthcare burden soon. $4 trillion. It's fucking it's fucking insane.
Right. Whether you thought Obamacare was a good idea or some other program, we need some program to deal with this. But never part.
Yeah, we need a program that's based around people taking responsibility for their own health, so they can fucking get healthy and not fucking burden the system so much. We need a system based around telling people that you are responsible for your fucking health. And you need to fucking do so for the good of fucking society, your family, friends, fucking friend circle, everything. What the fuck? That's fucking reality.
Part of that program was, let's ask the people to participate in their own health. I think this is what you were getting at.
Yep.
We don't ask people to, you have to participate. It can't all just be, the government can't solve this on their own.
The government's not even trying to fucking solve it. What the fuck? It's fucking ridiculous.
Vaccines can't solve this on their own. You have to do it. You know, I said at one point, it's not between you and the government, it's between you and the waitress.
Yeah, I mean, this is one of the areas where it's sort of fascinating, the way that we've treated in public policy vaccines with, for example, vax mandates. You must get the vax or you will lose your job. And at the same time, if I so much as say to you that you might need to lose 10 pounds, this is the great sin. Like, I don't see how you can hold both of those ideas in your head at the same time.
Right. And look, we all do something. Again, not shaming. I drank too much for years. But when someone would say to me, you know, maybe you should scale that back a little, I didn't say, how dare you? You're drink shaming me. It's just an alternative lifestyle. What are you talking about? I'm just as wonderful and perfect the way No, I would say, yeah, you know what? You're right. And then I wouldn't do it, but I would at least accede the point. I wasn't offended by that. I was like, yeah, you're right. I drink probably too Irishly, and I shouldn't. But boy, you're just the bad guy if you say that about food.
So in a second, I want to ask you about how that kind of ties into broader issues of identity politics. But first, since we're talking about your imminent death, let's talk about.
Okay, so they start talking. They get into something else there, and then they fucking talk about other stuff. I'm gonna take some questions, but I gotta say, like, I enjoyed the conversation, I really do. But it still leads to the not addressing the shit that needs to be fucking addressed. Like, the reality is, people need to take responsibility for themselves as people. In order to do that, we absolutely need to fucking understand. We need to get there that obesity is actually bad. How many f bombs is this guy gonna throw? Jesus, it's so fucking unnecessary. None you have to worry about, bitch, because I just fucking blocked you, you fucking stupid motherfucking fuckhead. That was like 5 fucks in like that fucking little bit. Anyway, I worked in a nursing home, and the eldest I ever met was 101. She was a vegan all her life, not the best diet, but lived another year of extremely thin, not obese ones though. I hear you. In 2021, government allocated 4.05 trillion in revenue. Healthcare costs would be more than government makes right now. Absolutely. Ben's voice is like nails on chalkboard. It's a little squeaky. I can guarantee that shit. At least 160 f bombs. I mean, we're at the stage right now. Like, if that fucking bothers you so much, where the fuck you been? So, Gregory Allen. Hey, Allen, would you coach someone in recovery for bulimia? I struggle with binge urges and extreme hunger. Absolutely, absolutely. And again, here's the coaching link, by the way, everybody. Here's the coaching link. There's a 30-minute consultation you can also get. But absolutely, we work with multiple people that have bulimia. So hit us up. If companies would incentivize being healthy, it would also lower the individuals and company premiums. It has to start somewhere. If the small companies can't cut costs, the bigger ones will follow. 100%. 100%. And I'm going to take a few questions. But besides that, I think I've said all the shit I'm going to say about that shit before. I enjoyed the conversation. I did enjoy the rest of the conversation. You should absolutely go watch the whole conversation. Again, I do believe that conversations like that between two people on different sides need to happen. But in order for us to fucking be really, really, really truthful with ourselves, we need to get to the point where we can start accepting the fact. We can start accepting the fact that we do indeed need to make sure that they are addressing their own issues. People of themselves need to make sure that they are actually being realistic with themselves. We're at a stage right now where calling somebody fat all of a sudden is some sort of like social crime, when in fact they're fucking fat. I mean, they need to fix themselves. I mean, it's fucking crazy, crazy, crazy. It's really, really, really bad. Yeah, Tom, stop copying and pasting that, or I'm gonna fucking block you. Oh yeah, Tom, you get blocked. Sorry, buddy. You don't spam my feed. Anyway, swearing is authentic. It's just who I am. It's just me talking. What the fuck? People act like they don't fucking do it. Whatever. One, wonderful work, Alan. $30 trillion in national debt. Healthcare costs would be a huge problem in the future. No shit. Like, we need to fucking really do that. Have you ever been invited to any shows to talk about this? No, I have not. People stay well away from inviting me on shows like this. They really, really do. Um, it took a long time in wrestling with getting the coaching. I wish I would have done it sooner. Alan's no BS way of coaching is already working for me in 10 days. Samantha, thank you very much. I appreciate it. Back to this person, hit them up. Tell them you want me on the show. I will say my shit in front of everybody. I am not shy. I have woke up to the realization that skinny fat is extremely unhealthy. I need to change that. We can help you with that too. We really can. Meanwhile, the Japanese will literally point and laugh at fat stomach and strangers in their faces. No shit. It's because I mean, get out of your feelings, people. Get out of your feelings and understand that you would feel just better. You would feel tons better tomorrow and this week, or I think this week. No, tomorrow I'm talking about YouTuber. Tomorrow we're going to talk about how YouTubers lie about their weight loss journeys and the dangers for them and their audience. How dangerous that is when weight loss channels lie about their weight loss, including their start dates and shit. So Alan on Dr. Phil test. That'd be funny. Whoops. Just kidding. Telling about the cost of not seeing the shared social healthcare system. No kidding. No kidding. Anyway. All right, guys. We are at the time. We are at about an hour in. I just had a baby 3 weeks ago, and I'm already feeling better. Taking my family on walks. That's awesome. I only got another 20 pounds to go. Good for you. Good for you. Good for you. So everybody, I hope everybody enjoyed this. I enjoyed watching it. I wanted to keep Mondays low, especially because Monday I've got lots of fucking work to do. But I hope everybody has a great fucking day. I hope that it's always strange when people get butthurt about you cursing. I rarely curse, which is a personal choice. But why should anybody care if somebody else does? Because they're fucking losers and they can't fucking say anything else. They have nothing else to say about. They can't say anything about my data. They can't say anything about my perception on it. They can't say anything about my logic because I fucking destroy them with all that. So it's got to be either the bald, the tattoos, or the fucking swearing. They're fucking pussies. You're rude, but you're right. What about it? What is rude? I'm not rude. How am I rude? That's fucking pussy assness that just came out of your fingers onto your fucking keyboard. Rude would be me lying to somebody and saying you're indeed fine when you're fat as fuck. Rude would me be lying to them. I am fucking way more polite to them than fucking somebody lying to them. Anyway, I hope everybody has a great fucking day. I hope you see you tomorrow. Please like and subscribe, follow, do all that shit. I hope you have a great day. God damn.